When you say Nepal, most people picture one thing: Everest, the tallest mountain on earth, the bucket list checkmark, the queue of climbers in bright puffer jackets. And yes, nearly 60,000 people visit the Everest region every year. But here's what most don't know: there is another Nepal, a quieter one, where tourism doesn't take from a community, it builds one, where the money you spend stays in the hands of a grandmother who just cooked you dal bed from her own garden. This is the story of that other Nepal, and it might just be the future of travel itself. It's easy to romanticize Nepal's trekking industry, and it is incredible: the hospitality, the views, the sense of achievement, but there is a cost. And it's not just financial. The Everest region generates an estimated 4.6 tons of non-biodegradable waste every year. In Annapurna, over 244,000 trekkers passed through in 2024 alone. That's a lot of footprints, a lot of firewood, a lot of pressure on communities that were never designed for mass tourism. And here's the painful truth: most of that money doesn't stay local. It leaks out to international agencies, city operators, airlines, and gear manufacturers far from the villages that host the trekkers. But there is another way, and it started in a small village called Sarubari. 25 years ago, a group of Gurung families in Sanja district made a decision. Instead of watching their young people leave for Malaysia, the Gulf, or South Korea, they would create a reason for people to come to them. They built a homestay model: not luxury, not fancy, simple, warm, and authentic. Guests sleep in family homes. They eat meals cooked by the mother of the house. They learn traditional dances. And the money? Divided among the community. Sarubari became the blueprint. Today, thousands of families across Nepal are following the same path. To understand why this matters, meet the women running these homestays. Organizations like the Community Homestay Network now support over 30 to 40 communities across Nepal. Their model is simple: 80% of every guest payment goes directly to the host family. The remaining 20% covers training, marketing, and community development. For a family in rural Nepal, a homestay can contribute up to 4-5% of their total annual income. And the majority of these homestays are run by women. Women who, for the first time, have financial independence. Women who make decisions about their own money. Women who send their daughters to school because they can now afford to. While everyone queues for Everest, a different kind of travel is quietly growing in Nepal's forgotten corners. Upper Mustang, a restricted region that feels more like Tibet than Nepal, with fewer than a few thousand visitors per year. Kaptad, a national park in the far west where you can walk for days without seeing another tourist. Rora Lake, the deepest lake in Nepal, surrounded by untouched forest. And Kanchenjunga, the world's third highest peak, trekked by only a few hundred people annually. These places exist by design, protected by restricted permits, high fees, and regulations that prioritize experience over volume. Here's something you might not know. Nepal receives over $10 billion in remittances every year, money sent home by Nepalese working overseas. For decades, that money went into land, construction, consumption. But now something is shifting. Returnee migrants are investing their savings into tourism. A man who spent 5 years in Dubai builds a guest house in his home village. A woman who worked in South Korea starts a trekking agency in Pokhara. These are not big corporations. These are families betting on a different future. Instead of leaving home to find work, they are building a region for the world to come to them. Let's be honest, sustainable tourism can sound like a buzzword. So what does it actually mean in practice? It means lodges powered by solar panels instead of firewood. It means the Annapurna Conservation Area project, one of the most successful community-managed conservation models in the world, run by local committees, not by the government in Kathmandu. It means homestay income building local schools, health posts, and water systems. And it means the Nepal Tourism Board, alongside the UNDP, investing $5 million into a sustainable tourism project that puts climate resilience and local ownership at the center. Not as a marketing gimmick, as a strategy. There's a numbers argument here too. A mass tourism trekker spends less per day, and most of that money goes to airlines, international agencies, and gear companies, not to the village. A community-based tourist stays longer, spends more, and up to 80% of that spending stays in the local economy. In places like Bandipur, the beautifully preserved Newari town that reinvented itself as a heritage destination, or Panoti, just an hour from Kathmandu, the model works. The money circulates. It builds roads, it builds schools, it builds dignity. And here's the beautiful irony: the guests love it more, because they're not just seeing Nepal, they're living it. So what does the future look like? The government's own Nepal Tourism Decade, running from 2020 to 2032, explicitly prioritizes sustainable high-value tourism over volume. The message is clear: we don't want more tourists. We want the right tourists, the ones who stay longer, who go deeper, who leave the place better than they found it. This isn't naive idealism, it's a survival strategy for the mountains, for the culture, and for the millions of Nepalis whose livelihoods depend on getting this right. The Everest queues will probably never disappear, but the future of Nepal's tourism is not on the summit. It's in the village, in the homestay kitchen, in the smile of a woman who no longer has to leave her home to make a living. And that is a journey worth taking.